broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to HaleyMail 101. We're going to get started in just 2 minutes. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first in our back-to-school webinars, HaleyMail 101. I promise this won't be quite as painful as actually being in a classroom, but we like to do these from time to time, these types of webinars, to kind of remind everybody what is included with their HaleyMail program, which is what we're going to be going over today. And I apologize, some of this might be old hat to some people that are on this call. But oftentimes when we talk with our clients, we hear from them, "Oh, I didn't realize that was included," or "I didn't realize I could do that with HaleyMail." So we like to do this from time to time just to kind of remind everybody of everything that's included in the HaleyMail program. And then our next couple over the next 2 weeks are going to get into a little bit more detail on. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to leverage the existing content that you have and all the different things you can do with it. And then the final week is going to talk about things from a candidate side of HaleyMail. So want to get started today with, a little bit of housekeeping first. If you do have any questions, there's the question tab on the GoToWebinar module there. You can use those throughout the webinar. And then we'll also have some time at the end for additional questions. So if anything comes to mind, just go ahead and type it in the question box there. So before we get started, I kind of wanted to, my apologies to Mr. Twain here for bastardizing his famous quote, but we hear a lot about, well, email marketing is dead and email marketing is just not effective anymore. And I kind of want to put that rumor or that myth to rest a little bit. We hear this a lot from people, and it's understandable. There's a lot of email that you get throughout the day now, and is it dead? Certainly not. I mean, it still works. Everybody on this webinar is here because they got an email from me or Mackenzie saying that we were having this great webinar. You probably learned about a sale that your favorite store was having this week in an email. So yes, it still works. And here's just kind of a sampling of some of the research that's been done over the past couple of years here. From McKinsey, very well-respected company. Email is 40 times more effective at acquiring new customers than Facebook or Twitter. Email marketing drives more conversations than any other marketing channel, including search and social. You are 6 times more likely to get a click-through from an email campaign than you are from a tweet. And finally, 90% of email gets delivered to the intended recipient's inbox, whereas only 2% of your Facebook fans see your post in their newsfeed. So, and that's not to say, I don't want this to be a bash social media session here, but you need both. You need social, and we're going to be talking a lot about that in next week's webinar. But email marketing does still work. It's a fact. We see it every day with our clients. So this is kind of the portion of the webinar where I make you feel good about your decision to be using and purchasing HaleyMail. Next, I just want to talk a little bit about the goals of HaleyMail, because I think this is where a little bit of confusion comes in from some clients. First of all, it's intended to keep you top of mind with your clients, with your prospects, with your candidates. If you think about all of the people that are on those three lists, your clients, your prospects, and candidates, how long would it take you to contact each one of those individually? Probably take you months. So with one click, you are getting in front of all of those people at least once a month. If you're doing the bare minimum of HaleyMail and sending out the newsletters, you're getting in front of them once a month. It's also going to position you as a staffing and HR expert. The content that we're sending out is related to what you do. It's related to the pains and the headaches that your clients are having right now. So they're going to see you as providing really good information. It's also a great way to market top candidates and generate new job orders, something we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail in a little bit. Advertising your hot jobs to increase your candidate referrals. Add value and nurture relationships. And I think this is one of the things where it's a little frustrating for people sometimes. I think when people start doing email marketing, they expect the phone to ring off the hook because they sent out one email. Well, that's not always the case. You're not in a retail situation. If the Gap sends out an email saying 40% off everything in the store this week, yeah, they're going to get a lot more traffic into their stores. It's not necessarily the same with staffing. Email marketing, content marketing for staffing is more about nurturing the relationships, adding value to the relationship. So even if those people aren't ready to purchase from you right now, they're going to remember the really great content that you've been sending them every month. And it's basically, kind of creating a cold lead into a warm lead. You're staying top of mind with them every month. You're sending them a great content so that when they are ready to make a purchase, when inevitably their current staffing company screws up and they're looking to change, they're going to remember you for all the great content that you send them. And then it's also giving your salespeople new reasons to follow up every month. Instead of the same old cold call, are you hiring right now? Are you looking for any positions right now? Are you looking for any candidates right now? It gives them a starting point, a dialogue, using the content that's in the newsletter to start conversations with clients and with prospects. So that's a little bit about the goals. Now I want to kind of make sure that everybody's kind of is on the right page here, because in the past, and this is how we used to market HaleyMail, it was a newsletter. It was a monthly newsletter to your clients and your candidates, a couple other little pieces thrown in there too. But HaleyMail really is more than just a newsletter at this point. It really is a full content marketing solution. And that's kind of the goal with today's call, is to show you all the different things that HaleyMail can do. Now, that said, of course, the core of HaleyMail is still the monthly newsletter. And here's just a couple examples here. The client newsletter and the candidate newsletter. And as I said, in our last installment of HaleyMail Back to School, we're going to be talking a lot about the candidate side of things. But I really wanted to get you thinking about candidate marketing, because we ask our clients all the time, what's your biggest issue right now? And 95% of the time, we hear we can't find great candidates. Yet so few of our clients are utilizing the candidate newsletter that's in HaleyMail. It's all included. It's part of the package. There's a client newsletter and a candidate newsletter. So it's somewhat frustrating on our end to hear such a major issue for our clients, yet they're not doing enough to market to candidates. At the very least, you should be sending out the candidate newsletter. It's just as important to nurture relationships with your candidates as it is with your clients. Because if you're not nurturing your relationship with your candidates, they're probably going to move down the street to the other staffing company. So it's really important to make sure that you're using the candidate newsletter. And like I said, it's included in the monthly newsletter. We also have, and we're going to talk about all this stuff in a little bit more detail within the newsletter, links to your staffing resource center and candidate resource center. The archive, the newsletter archive is a really great tool as well, and that should be up on all of your websites. You can just take that link from your newsletter archive, and there's links in all of the newsletters, and put it up on your website. Enhance your website with a lot of different content. So beyond the staffing resource centers and the candidate resource centers, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, you want to make sure that you're putting that newsletter archive up there as well, so that you're filling your website with really good, valuable information. Next is our seasonal e-cards, or as we refer to them, instant mails. These are the holiday seasonal types of mailings, totally different from your newsletter. It's usually just one piece of content, a quiz, a list of recipes for the 4th of July, costume ideas for Halloween. It's that kind of escape type of emails. You're going to send it to your clients, and it's a little break for my day. I can have fun, and I can take a President's Day quiz here. Um, Not surprisingly, a lot of these perform better than our regular monthly newsletters. So I really encourage, you don't have to send them out every month. We have some clients who will send every one we design. We have some clients that don't send any, and some clients that send just for the big major holidays. The thing to remember, though, is if you don't like the new ones, and I think we're creating about 3 new ones per month now, and you always, either myself or Mackenzie, whoever your marketing advisor is, will always send you the updated ones. But if you ever look at them and say, nah, we don't like those, but we really would like to send out something for Halloween, just contact us. We have a library going back of about 12 years now of a number of different instant mail. So if there's ever one that you don't like, but you really like the topic or you really like the holiday, just get in touch with us and we can send you over all the ones from the past years. All right, we talked about this a little bit. Top candidates. When we talked about the newsletter, we talked about being nurturing, relationship building. Top candidates are intended to get you a direct response. So you may have a list of some of your most placeable candidates that are available right now. Why not send those out to your clients and your prospects? And it doesn't take much, usually just about a paragraph or so about the candidate. What are their top skills, experience? I always tell my clients to go into used car salesman mode when you're talking about these candidates. These are supposed to be the cream of the crop. So you need to talk about them like that. Don't just say, well, this person types 90 words per minute and they have 5 years experience and they're a really hard worker. Okay, so are 90% of the people applying for jobs. Really make sure that you're selling these people. So, we have a bunch of different templates. We have some generic ones. We have some industry specific ones. We have ones where you can set them up on your own. We can train you to set these up on your own, or you can have us do it. The advantage with having us do it is we do all the setup for you. We send it through our proofing process. We send it through our testing process, and then we send you a preview, and you can approve it to go out. So, but like I said, we can train you. All these templates are in your My Haley account, so you can go through and set these up on your own. But really, our clients that do this, just I would say if there's one thing you're going to do beyond just the newsletter, it's a top candidate mailing, because I've had clients who have paid for an entire year of HaleyMail with just one top candidate mailing. If they make a really great placement, it pays for HaleyMail for the year. So, and again, they're simple to do. You can have us do it. Doesn't have to take any time or resources from you other than just getting us the descriptions. We'll take care of it all for you, get it all set up for you. So if you're interested, please contact your marketing advisor. We'll send you all the templates, or you can just go into your My Haley account and you can take a look at those. But our clients that send these out on a regular basis get really, really great results. On the other side of things, the candidate side, we do have a bunch of also hot jobs templates. So these would just be descriptions of your top jobs that are available that you can send out to your candidates. And we can link directly to your job board. If you have the Haley job board, we can link directly to that, or we can have it go to a recruiter or a sales rep, however you'd like. The apply buttons and then the learn more about these job buttons can go to really anywhere you'd like. And again, we have a bunch of industry-specific hot jobs templates. We have just the generic ones. Again, same thing. If you would like to set these up on your own, we can certainly train you to do that, or you can have us take care of them as well. So similar situation, and I just had a client send out a hot jobs template. It wasn't even really advertising any specific jobs. It was just asking people if they're looking for jobs. And within about 2 hours of sending out the hot jobs mailing, they had 5 or 6 new candidates, qualified candidates that they were able to place, and also a job order out of it. So they had a candidate who had turned into a client essentially. And that was just within a couple hours. So again, these hot jobs and top candidates mailings, if you're not taking advantage of it, I really suggest that you do, because this is really where you're going to see a really strong ROI from the HaleyMail program. You'll get immediate feedback on candidates. You'll get immediate feedback on the jobs that you're sending. The nice thing about these two is mostly with the top candidates, when we set those up, they'll be on a separate landing page. So people will be clicking on a link within the email to go view the candidate descriptions. So even if you're not hearing back from those people, even if you didn't get a response that, yes, I'm interested in this particular candidate, you can go into your reports, which we'll be taking a look at here in a little bit, and be able to see who clicked on the top candidate description. So even if you didn't hear from them, chances are they're probably looking for somebody. So those are great people to follow up with because you know they're probably looking for some candidates. So maybe the people that you sent in that mailing, and maybe nobody really caught their attention, but chances are you probably got somebody that would match up with the position that they're looking for. Next is the lead generating ebooks. And this is one of those tools like I talked about at the beginning where when we talk to our clients, sometimes they go, oh, I didn't realize we had that. About once a quarter, depending on what theme you have, we design an ebook. So it's an article that we take and not just the simple landing page design, but we actually design an ebook for them. So when people come in, click through to the ebook, in order to get the ebook, they have to fill in information. So they have to give you their name and email address, and then they can download it. Those get sent directly to you. So when we hear from clients, oh, I didn't realize I had these, it's a little frustrating because usually when we set these up each quarter, we are sending them over to our clients and saying, hey, this is this month's ebook. Here's a link that you should be using. You should be taking that link and putting it everywhere. So it's going to be in your newsletter, obviously. Put it in your email signature. Click here to download our latest ebook on the 401k in 2017, like the one we see here on the screen. You should be using it on all your social media pages, posting it on Twitter, posting it on Facebook, posting it on LinkedIn. If you have a blog on your website, you should be adding it to your blog. So really no excuses for not using these. It's very simple to just take the link that we provide you and put it everywhere. And then you'll start to see these leads come in. So every time somebody downloads it, you'll get their information and you can treat them as a warm lead. This really is, I think, probably the most powerful tool that HaleyMail has. And you really, really should be taking full advantage of this. Next is the resource centers. There's the Staffing Resource Center and the Candidate Resource Center. Hopefully, if we built your website, you have these on your site, or if we provided the link. If you don't, please let us know. Please let Mackenzie or I know, and we will absolutely get you those links. But essentially, these are big libraries of all of our past content. Again, this is going to do a lot to enhance your website. You add these to your website, and suddenly you have hundreds and hundreds of pages of content on your website. We have it broken down in all different categories. You can search for different topics in there. But beyond that, beyond just putting them up on your website, there's, when we talk to clients sometimes, they'll say, well, you know what, I just don't know what to do with social media, right? I don't have time to develop content for social media. I don't have time to write for social media. Guess what? You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content already in your staffing resource centers. You could post a new article from your resource center every day for just about the entire year. So no excuses not to be posting at least one thing per day on social media. This is all yours. As long as you're using the HaleyMail program, you have access to all of this great content. So if you haven't already, I highly suggest going in, taking a look at all the different content, and start thinking to yourself, well, geez, this would be something really great to post on social media. Or even, we're going to talk about this in a minute too, print pieces. We probably have a print version of about 90% of the content that's in the resource center. So if you see something there you like and you say, oh, this would be really great to use as a drop-off or leave behind, let us know. We can also provide you with that. But again, this content is all yours to use. So please, please, please take advantage of this. Post this to all of your social media sites on a regular basis. So, you've got the content from your newsletter that you should be posting on social media, and you also have the content from your resource centers that you should be using for social media. And Mackenzie will get into a lot more detail with that on next week's webinar. And here's the print version. For all of the main articles that we have each month, so anything other than the ebook or the slideshows or any videos, we have print versions of all of our articles. So if you see one that you like one month, you say, boy, this would make a really great piece to use as a drop-off or use as a leave behind, or if you're doing a business event, networking event, job fair, let us know and we'll provide you with that content. That means going back many, many years too. So we have all of the content. So like I said, when you see stuff in the resource center, if you'd like to use that, you can certainly use print versions of those. But beyond that too, just kind of think about, geez, let's do a toolkit. You could do a interviewing toolkit. Take a bunch of articles related to interviewing and making a toolkit out of that. Pick any topic. Articles on improving productivity. Well, we can come up with a whole bunch of different articles just from our archive or our resource centers and make that into a toolkit. You can also put binders together for your lobby so that when candidates are sitting there waiting for their interviews, they can flip through the binder and read some really great content. Anything that relates back to candidates, you can certainly put into those. So just some of the different ideas on how you can even use some direct mail. If you wanted to go old school and do a little bit of direct mail, sure, just print up the articles, print up a letter with them, and send it to your some of your prospects. Pick out some of your 20 best prospects, send them a really great print version. Say, hey, even if you just want to put a Post-it note on it, make it seem very personal. Say, hey, this would be we thought you'd really like this article. If you'd like to talk about this with us, give us a call. And then I guess the non-tangible side of HaleyMail would be the reporting. You've got all these great tools. Hopefully you're using all of them. But then we also have the reporting. So every mailing that goes out, you'll be able to see how many were sent, how many were bad, how many were bad email addresses, how many bounced back, how many didn't get to their intended recipient. You'll be able to see all the ones that were delivered. Then you'll be able to see who's opening the emails and who's clicking on the different links in the emails. And for sales reps, this is a really great tool to use because, one, you'll know who's interested in the different topics that you're sending out. So it makes it very easy, like we talked about earlier, about starting a dialogue, starting a conversation. Hey, did you happen to see our article this week on improving productivity over the summer months? Yeah, I did. It was really good. We actually we shared it with our team, and it's just an easy way to get a dialogue started. Or maybe they say, no, you know what, I didn't see it. Great, let me send you over a link to it. Let me know what you think, and we can talk about it in more detail. So taking a look at those detailed view reports and click reports, and you can export those into an Excel file, send them to your team. They can see exactly who on their list is opening the emails, who's clicking on the links of the emails. And on the other side of things, it's good to know who's not. So you can contact those people who didn't show up on the open report or on the click-through report. Say, hey, did you happen to see our newsletter this month? Oh, you know what? I didn't. Oh, that's okay. Let me forward you a copy. It's another touch point for them where it'll get kind of stuck in their brain like, oh, I need to keep an eye out for that next month. So even if they don't open it this month, when it comes through next month, they may go, oh, you know what? This is that newsletter that Judy was talking about that I really need to take a look at. She was telling me all the really great content that's in there. So a lot of different ways to use the reporting. And then kind of going hand in hand with that, I always say, make sure, one, you always have Google Analytics on your report. And on your website, if we built your website, you do have Google Analytics on there. But compare that with dates that you send out mailings. So go into your reports, your HaleyMail reports, take a look at the dates you send out your mailing, then go back to Google Analytics. I can almost bet you yours will seem very similar to the ones here we see on the screen. So all those little circles there, those are dates that HaleyMail was sent out. So we generally see spikes. That one on the bottom there, that huge spike on the left, that's because of HaleyMail, because you were driving people from your newsletter back into your website. So when people say, well, I'm not hearing anything from our clients, I'm not getting feedback from our clients, this is the first place I usually go and say, yeah, okay, maybe they're not reaching out to you and saying, boy, really great article this month or really great newsletter. But look at all the people it's driving to your website. Think about if you weren't sending out that monthly newsletter. All those visits to your website that you would miss. All those opportunities for a candidate to go to your website and then go to your job board. Or an opportunity for clients to come in and learn more about your company and find out the types of people that you place. And if you have our talent showcase, they can see the types of candidates that you have available. So from time to time, you don't have to do this every month, but a couple times a year, go back in and compare and contrast the HaleyMail reports with the Google Analytics reports. And if you'd like, we can even do this for you. We can do it very quickly for you and send you over a report. And that gets us to our final tool, which is your marketing advisor, either myself or Mackenzie, that's working with you kind of as your personal trainer. You've bought the gym membership, which is HaleyMail, and now we're going to be the personal trainer to do things like this to make sure that you know all the different tools that you have available and make sure that you're using all of those different tools. So, use this as a sounding board. If you have issues not even related to email marketing or content marketing, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and give us a call. Shoot us an email. We have, I have 15 years experience at Haley, and Mackenzie 3 years experience. So we have a lot of experience working with a lot of clients. So we can usually direct you in the right way to solving some of those issues and those challenges that you're having right now. So please, please, please do not be afraid to contact us and chat about the different issues and questions that you might have, different ways to use the tools in HaleyMail. If there's something today that wasn't clear to you, feel free to contact us, and we can go through things in a little bit more detail. So that concludes everything I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short. I wanted to keep these about a half hour or so just to kind of review things with the HaleyMail program. If there is any questions, you can go ahead and use that questions box on the GoToWebinar interface there and send them my way, and we'll certainly answer those. If there's stuff you think of after we're done here today that you want to talk about, please, like I said, don't hesitate to contact either Mackenzie or myself. Which brings us to our next webinar next week, same time, Wednesday the 27th at 2 p.m. Eastern, HaleyMail 201, which is Mackenzie's going to go through how to leverage your content. Mackenzie also works with a lot of our social media clients. So she's really good at knowing how to use the different types of content, how to use the different tools across all of your social media platforms, because that's the nice thing about this content marketing program too. It's not just the newsletter. It's not just the resource centers. It's not just the instant mails. Take that content and use it across all your social media platforms. And she's going to get into a little bit more detail about that next week. So it doesn't look like we have any questions coming through, but like I said, if anything does come up, you want some further detail on anything, please don't hesitate to contact Mackenzie or I. And we will hopefully see you next week at HaleyMail 201, leveraging your content. I want to thank everybody for your time today. And please, like I said, don't hesitate to give us a call or shoot us an email if you have any questions.